Cornering. I know. My oil light is still blinking, so I gotta still a couple hundred more miles before I can change the oil. So probably go sometime next week, get it changed. Ooh, look at that sun glaring. That sun is out. Welcome to South Florida. You know, this is like the worst semi-intersection with no light. I hate it. And I would do anything for love. And I would do anything for love. And I would do anything for love. But I won't do that. I won't do that. For you older folks, you know who that was. Meatloaf. A classic song, a long video. Everybody was trying to figure out what he meant by that. I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Nobody knew what that was, but I guess it was left up to everyone's own personal, you know, interpretation of what they will and what they would not do for love. Well, back then it seemed like there was a lot of love going on. You know, the 90s, the 80s and the 90s. It's always an argument of which, you know, decade, you know, had the best music. I would say hands down the 90s. I mean, and when I say the 90s, I'm talking from all genres. R&B, rock, hip-hop, country music, like music which is awesome. The talent was just so ridiculous, and it was so good with all the singers that you knew as a regular person you couldn't just go into a studio and try to sing, because the voices were paramount, something you couldn't duplicate. There was just too much musical talent, too much musical genius, you know, too many, you know, great producers, great artists, great recruitment of artists. Like, everything all around was just top notch. These days, and they say, oh, because you're getting older or whatever the case. No. We know the difference. Because, you know, even when I was growing up and my parents was growing up, you know, my parents was growing up like in the 60s, you know, they had, you know, great artists too as well. You know, Michael Jackson, You know, all of those old groups, Teddy Pendergrass, Kenny Rogers, you know, the Temptations, you know, just, you know, a whole litany of artists that could sing, and the words actually meant something, the songs actually meant something. So going into, you know, the 80s and the 90s, my parents could still relate to the music because the artists were still good. You know, you had a range of, you know, talented singers, you know, out there. There was just so many. It's just so hard to keep track of now that you think about it. But when you start mentioning names, you're like, wow. You know, Mariah Carey, Toni Braxton, Luther Vandross, you know, Gerald Levert, you know, Keith Sweat. You know, from that particular, you know, that particular time. You just had a lot, you know, just a lot of people, you know. You pick your artists, you know, Prince, you know, who can forget Prince? Some acceleration here, you know. Uh-oh. Okay. School bus. You know, we had artists like, you know, U2, you know, Metallica, Sting, you know, Phil Collins, you know, taking it back to like the 80s, you know, great freestyle music, you know, Lisa, Colt Jam. Like, there was just tons of artists, you know, quality artists. Now, everything is so garbage and watered down that anybody think, because of the, you know, the type of music that they're producing now, everybody thinks that they can do the same thing based on the crappy quality that's out there. You can debate this all you want. You know, besides singers like, you know, Adele. You know, I think Adele has a voice. Taylor Swift. I haven't really listened to too much, you know, Taylor Swift music. So I don't know if she's like a full-blown singer like that, like, you know, like a Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston, but, you know, I think Adele was probably like the last, you know, of the real, you know, singers. Nobody compares to Mariah Carey. Nobody compares to Whitney Houston. And I'm just talking about longevity, you know, and voice talent, you know, and hit songs too as well. You know, you did have, you know, Jennifer Hudson out there who can, you know, bang out some notes, but, you know, none of her songs are like really memorable like that. But when you're riding a motorcycle, it's funny, you know, this is the type of stuff that you think about, you know, when you're on your bike. You know, you think about stuff like that. And, you know, just life in general. So when I started singing Meatloaf, you know, that's just a song that's just like a classic that stays in your head. You know, if you don't have no song that stays in your head, you know, after decades, after it's been released, it's not a classic song, you know. It's not a classic singer. You know, one-hit wonders, you know, are not too memorable. You know, a lot of these albums and songs that came out, you know, in the last 10 years, you know, in my personal opinion, nobody's gonna remember them. But a Michael Jackson song, yeah. A Whitney Houston song, yeah. A Luther Vandross song, yeah. Even a Janet Jackson song, yeah. Tony Braxton, yeah. Deborah Cox, yeah. Tamia, yeah. You know, you're gonna remember a lot of these, you know, great artists. Boys to Men, yeah. Jodeci, yeah. Shy, yeah. Drew Hill, yeah. Backstreet Boys, okay, yeah. Menudo, yeah. Bet y'all caught you with that one. But today's music, nah. And then I'm riding and chilling, just thinking about it in traffic. You're not gonna remember a lot of these songs because it is what it is, man. It's just, in my humble opinion, garbage. What used to be is no longer. So those type of songs, that type of music will never die out, you know, because that stuff is in our hearts. You know, a lot of people were going through a lot of hard times, and you know, a lot of these songs, you know, kind of got you through those hard times, no matter what it was you were doing. Because like I said, everything had meaning. The words had soul, the words had purpose. So many different situations, you know, that, you know, many people will go through in life. You know, you lose your job, you break up with somebody, you know, you lost your kids, somebody passed away, you got struck with an illness, family members become enemies, enemies become friends. And a lot of songs, you know, back in the days, you know, were reflective, you know, of the constant changes, you know, of life. But you don't get that today. Everything today is about who's having sex with who, who's smashing who. You know, just a bunch of like nonsense. Words don't even make sense. The singers can't sing. The rappers can't rap. What used to be lyrical geniuses, you know, making, you know, these rhymes, you know, that made sense, don't even make sense. Even the videos used to tell stories, you know, in the videos, and you used to love watching the videos because the videos matched the song. Now, nothing matches. Everything is just like, you know, chaotic. And to me, you know, it's just not interesting. So I tune out. But, you know, this is, you know, just one of those things that you think of, you know, when you're commuting on your motorcycle. And the funny thing is, no matter what it is that you're thinking about, you never get bored while you're on your bike. You don't really fall asleep. Like, I remember when I was driving, 'cause I was, you know, stuck in traffic like this. Like, I'm constantly dozing off because my foot is just on the pedal, holding the brake, and I'm just relaxed, not doing anything. And it was just so, you know, boring. Like, I couldn't wait to get home. And my main concern was not, you know, not enjoying my car. You know, my main concern was, you know, trying to hurry up and get home so, you know, I don't waste too much gas. Now, based on my gas mileage, I can care less about gas. Man, I literally just enjoyed the ride, even in traffic. This is like bumper to bumper traffic, everybody trying to get home. This is the 5 o'clock traffic right here. And this is one of those things you're gonna have to deal with, you know, as a commuter. Now, normally, if you see up in the lane here, I can literally split the lane if I want to, and just go all the way up. But I tend to only do that if I know the traffic is going to be completely still. Meaning, like, if I just come, you know, up to, you know, a red light, we're coming up to a red light. But here, I don't lane switch because, as you can see, you look to the left, there's an intersection right there. And there's another one, you know, coming up. So you may not see those intersections while the cars are stopped. And then next thing you know, see that white car right there? That car, you know, could be, you know, sneaking through the gap. And that's something you don't want. You know, you don't want to be caught off guard with something like that. Because, you know, people don't pay attention. And as a motorist, you have to discover, you know, all these potential situations, you know, that can happen, that could go wrong. You have to kind of anticipate that as a motorcyclist, because these scorpions, aka cars, will get you. So as you can see, I'm slow speed riding right now, doing about, you know, 5 miles an hour. And you got to be able to do that. Balance your bike, you know, hold it up, you know, so you don't hold up traffic, you know, behind you. You know, that's a skill you're definitely going to have to learn. But yeah, this is what you do, you know, when you're commuting. You know, not only are you, you know, getting real world practice, but like I said, you're also thinking about other things, life. You know, what you're going to do when you get home. You know, what you're going to eat. But while you're thinking about that stuff, oh, you're just having fun. And you're just enjoying the scenery, you know. You know, where I am, Florida, South Florida, man, I love this state. You know, as, you know, coming from New York. As an original New Yorker, man, I never want to go back to New York. I love it out here. With this particular area, the first time I came out here was around 2011, and I lived up in Melbourne, and that's close to like Central Florida. You know, not too far from Orlando, maybe about 2 hours away, possibly, if I remember. But I mean, it just kept raining. Like, it was just raining every other day. It was just rain. And I was like, man, I didn't, you know, come to Florida for this. So long story short, along with other things that was going on, you know, I ended up going back to New York, you know, for a couple of years, regrouped, and came down here in 2016, and been here ever since. Landed in Pompano, which is pretty much the area, you know, back east. I'm actually headed west right now, and I mean I love it. Let's hit this little corner right here, you know. Woohoo! Yeah, you know, little stuff like that, you know, little turns like that on a motorcycle are exciting. Yeah. Alright, traffic's picking up here. We're going to hit a little bit of traffic, you know, coming up, because we're coming up to one of the main boulevards, which is Atlantic Avenue. And that goes east to west, and that's where a lot of people travel to go home. Get to both highways. Over here, the turnpike, you know, a little bit more east is the I-95. But, you know, keeping speed with the traffic, you know, keeping an eye on everything. And you know, this is real world riding right here, you know. You know, these are the things you're going to have to contend with, you know, as a new rider, you know, as a commuter, if that's something you really want to do, you know, in the city, you know, around town. And trust me, I think you're going to get a lot more experience street riding than any other type of riding. Because street riding, that's where, you know, people are, that's where cars are, that's where crosswalks are. Everything is coming at you from different directions. You got stuff east of you, cars, you know, west of you, north of you, south of you, and you got to pay attention to everything that's, you know, that's going on while being in control of your crotch rocket. But yeah, so I'm in traffic, head home. You know, I'm just, you know, jamming. You know, we're just thinking about some songs in my head, and just sharing that, you know, sharing that on the road while enjoying myself. I'm not in a rush to get home. You know, this is all fun for me. I love it. I love it. So, you know, let it be fun for you. Look at this. You see how this blue car just came in, didn't even signal? You know, stuff like that. And I already saw him. I saw him on the right hand side over there. The guy was literally on his phone. And I knew he was going to do something stupid, which he did. And that's the stuff you got to anticipate. Stupid drivers. What is that? A little Pontiac GT? I don't know. But I tell you right now, if I was to race him, I'll probably burn the crap out of him. Especially hitting the corners. Roast that cat. Just because. But anyway, that's another thing. Try not to have any road rage. You know, you're going to have cars cutting you off. Everything in your mother's going to cut you off. People are going to do stupid, but everybody's going to know if you're a professional or not based on how you react. So, if things happen on the road, stay calm. Because if you go crazy, you know, you're going to lose control of your bike and you're going to do something stupid and crash. Alright? So just know, when you're out on the street, every car out there is out to get you. Every single one. The question is, are you Pac-Man? Can you escape the ghosts? Yeah. That's why we ride. We know the risk. We are extremely aware of the risk. We evaluate the risk. We calculate the risks, but we take the risk head on. And that's what us riders do. So I want everyone, and I want you all to get out there, you know, get on your bikes, get out there and practice. You know, you're a new rider, get out there and practice. You know, practice your U-turns, practice your slow speed maneuvers. You know, practice your emergency braking. Practice going at certain miles per hour. You know, just get out there, have fun. This may not look like fun, but actually, believe it or not, it is. It's fun because I'm learning all the time. Throttle control, clutch control, brake control, shifting, upshifting, downshifting, rear brake, front brake, steering, counter steering, how to swerve. All that stuff I'm learning, you know, while I'm out here. And that's the only way that you're going to learn too. So get out there, get your bikes, have fun. Thank you for watching this little video and my little rant about music. Once again, this is the Keep Living channel. I'm your boy, the KL Rider. You know, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.